Quiet on the set. Can we please have quiet on the set?
Ross here.
WTF!
Bonjour, je m'appelle Ross Twiddell from thecultaholic.com and tuer mon sexual wank faisance, and welcome to all of the WTF moments from last night's WWE Raw. A WTF moments video, of course, that shouldn't be happening because last night's episode took place in Manchester, England. It was pre-recorded. WWE had time to edit the piss out of all the WTF moments, so there shouldn't be any. So that's it. I've been Ross from Cultaholic.com. See you tomorrow for some... They didn't do that though, did they? Rhino's alive. No Way Jose is alive. Zack Ryder's alive. Somebody get a daddy to spank me hard 3 times because I thought they were all dead. What am I doing with me hands? Remember at the start of this video when I was talking about WWE editing the piss out of last night's episode? Well, it was very clear from the very start that they did, because just as Baron Corbin was getting close to the end of saying welcome to WWE Raw, or whatever he said, he would be cut off by something like this. I don't know about you, but watching last night's episode of Raw felt like going into a time machine back to the early noughties to watch an episode of SmackDown. You know that. The point being, the crowd noises when edited are horrible. Survivor Series, he says, the only time of the year when Raw and SmackDown superstars go head to head. How the hell can you say that, big baldy bastard Baron Corbin, when you're 3 days removed from a World Cup final that had a Raw superstar and a SmackDown wrestling god in it? Oh, I feel sick. August the 20th, 2018, big baldy bastard Baron Corbin becomes acting general manager of WWE Raw, and since then he has participated in no less than 1,385,768 matches against your boy Finn Balor because, and I quote, Finn, I am really tall, and Finn, you are really small. He's actually had 7 matches since becoming general manager, and they haven't all been against your boy Finn Balor, but you get what I'm saying. So why then is big baldy bastard Baron Corbin going around saying he can't take part in the men's Survivor Series tag team match, even though he's pissing captain, because of his managerial duties? These managerial duties, of course, translate into just sitting at ringside next to Shane McMahon with an umbrella. Why, here you ask? Because, of course, Shane McMahon, who is the best professional wrestler in the world, will be pissing sweat everywhere. The point I'm making here is, of course, that the general managership of WWE Raw hasn't stopped big baldy bastard Baron Corbin wrestling before, so why is it doing it now? Oof, Ross, it's just not fair. Look, me grave is crying. Oh. And then big baldy bastard Baron Corbin picked no less than Braun Strowman to be on Team Raw at Survivor Series, because after everything that happened to WWE cock and bollocks in Saudi Arabia last Friday, that's going to end really well, isn't it? It's not, you know. It's going to end just as well, if not worse, than Crown Jewel itself. When I was in charge, we settled things in the ring, that baldy prick said, unless, of course, you're Sasha Banks and Bayley, who are sent to counselling because they're girls. Anybody else wondering when Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins will be going to Dr. Shelby's for 10 minutes of thigh-slapping hilarity that's actually as funny as death? Because I am. It's happened again, everybody. Somebody on the Raw roster turned up to work last night pissed as an absolute fart because they were doing things they shouldn't have been doing. Bare weeks ago, we saw Kevin Owens fighting on behalf of Braun Strowman, even though this year, Braun Strowman is trying to murder Kevin Owens bare times. We've also seen your boy Finn Balor fighting on behalf of big baldy bastard Baron Corbin, even though, and I quote, Finn, I don't like you because you are really small, and Finn, I am better than you because I am really tall. That impression is... So who turned up to work last night pissed as a fart, I hear you ask? Well, once again, it was your boy Finn Balor, who proved he has a problem with the bottle because he's Irish. Wrestling in stereotypes. This is because when Braun Strowman was trying to hunt down big baldy bastard Baron Corbin at the start of the show, who was one of the people to step in trying to stop Braun? It was your boy Finn Balor, despite the fact big baldy bastard Baron Corbin has spent a lot of time this year taking the piss out of him because he can't reach the dirty magazines on the top shelf of the shop. One question, of course, why Finn? Right, it's kind of a bleeding idiot. So Braun Strowman asked that small man there where big baldy bastard Baron Corbin went. That small man there says, I don't know, pal. So big Braun Strowman says back to him, you tell him when you see him, he's going to get these hands. Then that little man there runs off in one direction and Braun Strowman goes the exact opposite way. Now, I don't know about you, but when a big sweaty man grabs you by the shirt collar and tells you to do something, you do it straight away. So presumably that little man there went straight to see Baron Corbin because he was fearing for his life. Yet still, Braun Strowman goes the other way. Country strong, country stupid. Well, this was uncomfortable, wasn't it? I just don't quite get what WWE were trying to do here. So, of course, Natalya had her dad's sunglasses on. She wore them to the ring for good luck. Ruby Riott then gets the sunglasses towards the end of that match and she snaps them. Now, it's obvious those glasses weren't Jim's real glasses, but Natalya, she is really Jim Neidhart's daughter, and she really has been through some tough times in recent times. So for WWE to capitalise on Jim Neidhart's death like this, it was just a bit of them, wasn't it? Honestly, what was the payoff here? Everybody knew going into this match that Ruby Riott is a dick. Let's not mention the fact that everybody forgot about the match out of sheer awkwardness, a match, of course, that the Riott Squad would have been counted out for. Back to Big Braun we go, who, of course, was playing a real-life human game of Where's Wally? Or Waldo for the Americans out there. Oh, my God. As he looked for the boldest, the baddest, the most bastardy Wally you've ever seen in your life. He asked the three men there, where is this bald prick? The three men say somewhere in there. Braun then goes in there, which turns out to be the bogs, and checks every single stall apart from one. I just can't think to myself where big baldy bastard Baron Corbin could be. However, this segment wasn't all that bad because Braun did scare one man who was in the toilets doing some serious rails of toot because his trousers were up like normal. And hey, if that stall that Braun didn't check was indeed empty, the three men who Braun spoke to at the start of the segment are the three blind mice, because that little cocaine fiend looks not like big baldy bastard Baron Corbin. Absolutely terrifying. The sign, not saggy nips. Back to Baldy Wally we go, and this time he asks his security guards to barricade a door. A door that rolls up. Now, as a famous film once said, that's as useful as a cock-flavoured lollipop, unless, of course, you like cock. And next up we have big baldy bastard Baron Corbin. By God, am I sick of saying big baldy bastard Baron Corbin. This video sending out the AOP to take on Seth Rollins for the Raw Tag Team Championships in a handicap match, which probably Renee Young to say, hasn't Seth been through enough this week? Newsflash, pal, your husband's to blame. Have you forgotten about this, Renee? Have a word, will you? Sticking with Renee on a double whammy ting, and this time she says that if Seth Rollins does indeed defeat the AOP in a handicap match where the Raw Tag Team Championships are on the line, he should be called the best in the world. No, he should not, Renee, because he doesn't have a plastic trophy with best in the world written on it. And he's not sweaty enough either. Why were the crowd chanting, "You sold out" at Dean Ambrose? Selling out according to a lovely, impressive, big leather-bound book is apparently compromising of a person's integrity, morality, authenticity, or principles in exchange for personal gain, such as money. But when Dean attacked Seth, he basically forfeited a WWE Championship and all the extra money that comes with owning a WWE Championship, and more devastatingly, those sweet merch ducats that arrive with being in the Shield. So finally, 21 long years after he said it, Vince McMahon's Brett sentiments finally make some sort of sense, but only if you replace Brett with Dean. Imagine giving up all dem monies, man. What a tool. So finally we have some clarification on an issue that has been bothering me for bare time. WWE are not making Renee Young pretend she doesn't know Dean Ambrose, who, if you hadn't heard, is her husband and who she lives with. We learned last night that Renee has been trying to talk to Dean about why he turned on Seth Rollins a couple of weeks ago. She wants to know why her husband's a diddler. However, Dean's not playing ball, there's no getting through to him, there's no reasoning with the bloke. So unfortunately, we learned last night that Dean and Renee's relationship is on the rocks. And that's sad, isn't it? Maggle, 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 maggle. Oh, the one night a year where Raw and SmackDown superstars go head to head. Michael Cole, stick that one night of the year up your arse. Now I've got a big call to make. Do I point out this mistake every single time it happens over the next 2 weeks, or do I just let it fly because it's not going anywhere? Let me know in the comments below. Remember that door the big baldy bastard Baron Corbin told his hired goons to barricade before? Well, completely clear now what the hell's going on. And while I'm here, I've just got to let you know that one of the security guards in the back of shot appears to be having a heart attack no less than 1 whole hour after Braun Strowman kicked him in the chest. Somebody should check on him. Now, I've believed for many years that Oasis splitting up, then getting back together again, then splitting up again is professional wrestling at its finest. It's a work put on by two men who know fine well that the Shock and Return pop is the biggest and best pop available of all the pops. Now, Elias mentioning how if he plays a song about Dolph Ziggler it'll get Oasis back together proves everything I've just said to be absolutely spotty dog. The Gallaghers, two of the best workers in the history of professional wrestling, confirmed. Miles Kane is a professional wrestling fan. Miles Kane is a cool man. Therefore, professional wrestling is cool because that's how that sort of thing works. So hang on a second here. While Becky Lynch was waking up for school, our Lord and Saviour Ronda James Cuthbert Rousey was being waken up by a mother who was trying to break her arms. Social services? I know that is actually true, but you know. So WWE announced a new partnership with Girl Up, which is all about gender equality worldwide. And I know what you're saying here, but Saudi Arabia, not even in this world, so it's all fine. Vince McMahon likes big sweaty women. Vince McMahon likes big sweaty women. Charlie, you're like a bad painting. You just keep coming back. My God, the winking and the nudging is thunderous. But at least we're just one really vague step closer to knowing just what the piss in hell that thing is actually about. More charismatic than his face. So there was a sign in the crowd at last night's Raw that read, "We failed the wellness policy." So the obvious question here, of course, is who was in the crowd at last night's Raw? One of the following. Come on down. So if my ears didn't deceive me, which they might have done because I'm not all there after the past 2 days of watching wrestling, Corey Graves said that this was Kurt Angle's first match on Raw in 12 years. 2-3 weeks ago, Corey, he was dressed up as a slippery golden condom. What about that, eh? So that's it for your WTF moments from last night's WWE Raw, a show that took place in Manchester, England as part of WWE's UK tour. A tour which does not include a stop-off in the home of professional wrestling, Newcastle upon Tyne. It's my home, it's Cultaholic's home, it's War Jordy Neville's home, so what's even the point, eh? Think about that, will you? Follow me on Twitter at Ross on Wrestling. Pledge to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Cultaholic, because now we're 1 year old. We need new clothes. We're growing out of our old ones. Follow up on social.